5 signs you're dating a narcissist. Now, before I want to go into the video itself, I want to make sure, unfortunately, too often and too quickly, people are being labeled as narcissists and not necessarily diagnosed by someone who actually is trained and is a psychologist or whatever, who can actually really clearly decide and define if someone is narcissist or not. So let's be careful with these words. With all that said, though, there are clearly narcissistic traits that we can identify in others, and this is really what I want to talk about here today. So let me ask you this. Have you ever been in a relationship where something just feels not just a little bit off, but like really a little bit really off? Like no matter how much you give, it's really never enough. And one minute you feel like being totally adored, and then the next you leave being questioned like everything about your self-worth. If that sounds familiar, it might be more than just a rough patch. It could be because you're dating someone who has at least narcissistic traits. So today I want to dive into 5 major signs that you're potentially dating a narcissist. This isn't about labeling people, it's about recognizing really toxic patterns and protecting your energy. So let's get into this. The first sign, it's really always about them. In healthy relationships, there's a balance, a give and a take. But with someone who has really strong narcissistic traits, it's all just take, take, take. Conversations revolve around their achievements, their problems, their needs. Have you ever noticed how your wins are brushed off or how they steer every conversation back to themselves? That's not confidence, that's really self absorption. And if you constantly feel invisible or like a supporting character in their story only, that's really a major red flag you really need to look at. Second sign, they lack empathy. You know, empathy is the glue that holds relationships together. It's how we connect, it's how we understand each other, it's how we support each other. But someone with strong narcissistic traits, they lack that. If you've opened up about something really important and they dismiss it or flip the conversation to themselves, really pay attention. Whether it's brushing off your bad day or being indifferent to your plans, their inability to emphasize is not something you can fix, nor should you.
Ladies, stop chasing men. Even when he pulls back or loses interest, or you feel like he's slipping away from you, what you do in that moment can make all the difference between him feeling like you just like all the other women he's ever met, or it can make him realize and feel you're so unique and special, and exactly the type of woman he wants something real with. Something he wants to build with, causing him to chase you, to invest in you, and prove to you that he is the right man for you. You know, there's this 12-word text message that you can send to a man that gets his attention almost immediately and makes him realize that it was a mistake to pull away from you in the first place. If you want to find out what that 12-word text message is, then I highly recommend you check out this brand new video that I created for you. I linked it in the description below. Just click the link, and now let's go back to the video.
The third one, they do a bunch of love bombing and then they treat you with this withdrawal. In the beginning, it probably felt like a fairy tale, you know, constant compliments, these grand, beautiful gestures, and this intense connection. Now, that might be called love bombing, and it really is a manipulation tactic. They hook you in, then they pull back, and then you start chasing for this initial high. This push pull dynamic is designed to keep you off balance and craving their approval. Healthy love doesn't feel like a roller coaster, though. It's more like a smooth ride. The fourth sign, they never take responsibility. Have you ever tried to confront someone with these narcissistic traits about something they did, and suddenly it ends up being your fault? Narcissists really dodge accountability like it's a sport. They might blame their ex, their job, maybe even you, for their behaviors. If they cannot own up to their own mistakes and constantly deflect responsibility, you're in a toxic loop. Remember, healthy partner acknowledge when they're wrong and they're working towards making it right. Pretty simple. And the fifth sign, they isolate you in front of others. Slowly but surely, they chip away at your support system. They might say things like, your friends don't really care about you, or they make you feel guilty for spending time with, your family. This isn't love. It's full on control. Because isolation makes you more dependent on them. That's really what they want, which is exactly what they're desiring. So stay mindful of how your relationships with others are changing, or ideally, how someone wants to change them. So, what are some actionable tips that I can give you in such cases? Especially if you see any of these signs, obviously. So, the first one is like you need to trust your instinct. If something feels wrong, it probably is. Your intuition is so powerful, it's your internal guiding system. You need to listen to it. Start by checking in with yourself regularly. Ask, do I feel safe? Do I feel loved and valued in this relationship? If the answer is no, it's really time to reevaluate. The second thing you can do, set clear boundaries. Narcissists, they really cannot stand boundaries, but that's exactly why you need them. Be firm and consistent. Decide which behaviors you will and will not tolerate, and communicate those boundaries very clearly. For example, if they belittle you in public, let them know this is unacceptable and follow through by distancing yourself when it happens. The third thing you can do is reconnect with your support system. Spend time with friends and family who really uplift you. Isolation really only strengthens their power and control. So rebuild those connections that may have faded. Schedule regular meetups, phone calls, or even just text check ins, with people who remind you of who you really are outside of the relationship. And maybe another one, yeah, sure, you might seek some professional support. A therapist, a coach, someone that you like call a mentor, they can help you to step towards healthy decisions and making these healthy shifts and changes in your life to recover from maybe even like the trauma and all the pain and the suffering that you have experienced. And the fifth one, you might want to plan your exit strategy if it's really needed. If you recognize that the relationship is damaging and beyond repair, start planning how to safely distance yourself. This could include, secure your own finances, identify a safe place where you can stay, and informing a trusted friend about your plans. Dating a narcissist or someone with very strong narcissistic traits can feel really like being caught up in a storm, confusing, exhausting, and really painful. But the first step to reclaiming your peace is recognizing these signs. You deserve a relationship that feels nurturing, that supports you, and that uplifts you, not one that drains you and makes you feel exhausted and drained. And just remember, love should feel safe, not like a battlefield. So if this spoke to you, please click the like button, subscribe to this channel, and let's continue to have these real talks about love, dating, relationships, and these interpersonal dynamics between men and women. And always remember, stay honest to your internal guiding system, to your intuition. Stay strong and take care of yourself.